So the problem with the Jubilee Line is it goes under the Thames multiple times, and that causes a bit of an issue if you're walking between tube stations like I plan to do. And we have to get from Canary Wharf, which is where we are now, to Canada Water, which is on the south bank. So we got a bit of a, well, we've got a bit of an adventure to get under the Thames. Oh, did I say under the Thames? Bit of a giveaway. But this is going to be the most varied walk probably I do, because we've got a bit of Canary Wharf, which is the heart of the financial district. Then we've got some museums, the ex-Chinatown, Limehouse, Narrow Street, that tunnel I sort of hinted at, and then we're in Rotherhithe. Right, I guess we better get going. We'll exit to Cabot Square, named after the famous mariner. Is it John Cabot? The thing about Cabot Square is that it's actually built over the footprint of the original Canary Wharf. And I'll mix in a photo here. Of course, right now it's absolutely nothing like, but this is an automatic door because that would be very useful, yes. Yeah, so it was built over the original footprint of the original Canary Wharf, which traded with the Canary Islands, and it was a tiny thing. This square is very much known for its public sculpture, and there's a walk that someone does, which I'll link in the description, that takes you around all of the sculptures of the Isle of Docklands. Australia seems to be doing rather well in the cricket. This little square is called Wren Landing. Oh, and this little pedestrian crossing has got bleep bleep bleep, so let's cross it while we can. It's lunchtime in the Isle of Dogs, lunchtime in the Canary Wharf area. So a lot of people are sunning themselves in the June sunshine here. So this is the original West India dock, which I think dates from about 1802 or 1803 or something. And this bridge will take us over to the North Quay.
The West India Docks were a series of 3 docks, quaysides and warehouses built to import goods from the British West Indies. The first of them opened in 1802. We're heading over this bridge for the North Quay of the docks. Here is a more formal photograph of North Quay showing happy dock workers, taken in 1925. Alas, there was a worse side to the story. The import of sugar from the West Indies was built upon slavery. And here in London, while things weren't as bad as in Jamaica, manual workers at the docks were employed as casuals and would queue at the dock gates for call-on. This photograph was taken at the North Quay and shows a gang of dockers trucking bags of sugar beneath an awning of washed sacks that are hung out for drying. Blood Alley was the nickname given to the roadway between the transit sheds and sugar warehouses, because handling the sacks of sticky sugar badly chafed and cracked the dockers' skin.
You may have spied Boysdale earlier, but there's a lot of choices of eateries around here, and these old warehouses are very incongruous in the background. I think up and coming is the Munich Cricket Club. This is very much a German themed area or restaurant. And since we try to cover everything in this set of videos, I'm going to take you into the Museum of London Docklands, which, like most of the museums of London, is free. This is across from the North Quay and the museum. This is the Cannon Workshops, which is a very, very old part of the West India Docks. I was told if you came back here you get the backs of the warehouses and you can let your imagination run riot as to what it used to be, but I actually think with all the new builds around I can't do the imagination run riot stuff. This is the back of the school's entrance of the Museum of London Docklands. So I think if we go down this road we're going to get where we want to be. We have traversed to the other side. Oh, I'll put in the name of the road. I think it's the West India Dock Road, but I might be wrong. It's strange that when you're looking at maps, things seem really, really huge distances, but this is a tiny area, and I'm hoping this is Ming Street. This is Ming Street, which used to be called King Street, but it's called Ming Street because the Chinese community of Poplar and Limehouse came to live here. But after the Second World War, they disappeared to the West End and other areas of London. So this area, which used to be really quite, well, scenically grim, I guess I'd call it. So it looked really, really good. But you wouldn't want to live here. So now it's very verdant. If a bit noisy, you can still hear the main road. So that's the other end of Ming Street. And the end of Ming Street that way will be Pennyfields, which is an extension of Poplar High Street. It's been quite a cold spring, but it's been very, very dry since the beginning of May. It's now mid-June. This is all worryingly yellow, considering that it's only early summer. So if the summer stays dry, this is going to be a bit parched. So this is what the area looks like now. So I overshot the end of Pennyfields. It's actually that away. Again, it's really changed from what you see in old photographs. And they really changed. There was no green in those days, and it was cheek by jowl stuff and lots of little courtyards off the main street here. This was the Poplar end of the Chinese community, because Poplar High Street is behind us. Actually, I'll stop walking and just take in the scene. Poplar High Street is behind us that way. But the Chinese were really known to be a Limehouse community, which starts around about West Ferry Station. Which is straight ahead. Pennyfields Park is built on some very old courtyards. And I assume, but I don't know till I do the research, this area must have been bombed to within an inch of its life, causing all the changes. But sometimes, I'm not sure how old that is, sometimes local councils before the Second World War built new estates and cleared away old estates in the name of slum clearance. But apart from these are tall buildings, the fact that Canary Wharf is just behind us is quite incredible, really. It's a completely different atmosphere. I was told in the comments section to take a look out for this, and here it is. It's a Chinese dragon, I think. Having crossed the road, I think we've ended up. This is Limehouse Causeway beginning. Again, once a very Chinese area, now not a trace. Saunders Close, that seems like a rare survival of what was previously here. Potted dwellings, that sign says over there. Erected by the Council of the Metropolitan Borough of Stepney, opened by Alderman Henry Potter. Oh, so he named it after himself. is an example of the map you're looking at to do the research looking much bigger than the area that you end up being in. Just gonna go up the street a bit more here. This is 3 Colt Street, which is a shadow of its former self. And I think there's a photo of some kids across, some kids across the road there, and some people outside some shops here, and the pub at the end. So this is where 4th Street began at the Blue Pub, which is now called Narrow Street this end as well. It was Narrow Street further along all the way, but 4th Street was the name of just a small section of it. And if I'm not mistaken, on Google Street View we saw Dunbar Wharf, which was quite a notable building. I'll just stop a while to look at this. This is great stuff. Because this is, along with the new builds over there, this is a historic limehouse. Actually, I realise I've overshot lime kilns. Let me go back a bit. Alright, this is 3 Colt Street. In this building's got all the sunlight on it, opposite the old pub, the blue building. This, I think, was Lime Kilns, where Lime Kilns dock was. Let's just see if we can get there. The only trace of it I can see is Lime Kiln Wharf, which walked back onto the Thames with a magnificent view. And the wharf used to come into this street at that point. But we're not going to be rewarded with a view of the river. So we're walking back up what was Lime Kilns, and there's now 3 Colt Street, and we'll be turning left into Narrow Street, Strip 4 Street now. And the tour continues. So that's a very old historic Limehouse Riverside pub, the Grapes. At number 76 Narrow Street, and number 78 this side, I mean on the left, is David Owen's ex-house. David Owen set up the SDP, Social Democratic Party, from that very address. And down there used to be a big sign saying the house they left behind, which was number 27 there. Let's see, Ropemakers Fields, which used to extend to 3 Colt Street. They've got rid of the big sign, which is a shame. We've done Canary Wharf, and we did the ex-Chinatown of Limehouse, and this strange narrow street area which used to be wharves and is now very much posh housing. So this is like a third incarnation of the areas we're walking through. Poke over the wall at this point and see if the Thames, which has been largely hidden from us. And up there is our Limehouse Basin, which I'm hoping to find some sort of entrance to. But that ain't it. This is Limehouse Basin, beginning of the Grand Union Canal and the Lee navigation, and you can actually, I love that sign, you can go to Hartford, 28 miles away. Don't think I'm going to walk up to the basin today, but it's just there. So when I start the Grand Union Canal walk in the future, possibly, maybe, this is where it will all begin. Normally when you see a road called Horseferry Road, it would have led to a horse ferry, so that's in-fitting. Bit of Gordon Ramsay over there, just to show it's not quite a down-market area. And there at number 30 is the former house of David Lean, Brief Encounter director. Although it looks it might have changed since his day. So this incongruous little staircase is Ratcliffe Steps. I'll put the actual title in. But many expeditions to places like Australia set off from these very steps, and you'd never know it was there. So we're really coming into Ratcliffe now, where the Ratcliffe murders took place. So Limehouse is starting to be behind us. Traffic ahead is ominous. With the steps behind us, this is the very end of Narrow Street that comes out here. We're going to cross the road. This is where I transformed from simple history tourist to, are you stupid or what? So this is the entrance to the Rotherhithe Tunnel, and it's a way of walking across the Thames because there aren't any bridges in this area, just some ferries and railways. But this is the only way you can walk. So I'm going to turn this corner to the left and see what horror awaits me. So this was opened in 1908 by the Prince of Wales. It would have been George V, I think. And there is the footpath on the left, which gets very narrow. Okay. Right, I think I'm going to prepare for this. Oh, actually, I'm not going to need sunglasses. That's mad. It's dangerous enough as it is, but here goes. I've been told that this is a truly horrible experience. And I have to say that the roadway is very narrow, and I can start to smell the exhaust fumes already. Yeah, not very nice. And this is the first of the things that tell you how far you got to go. Let's actually go back and have a look at that. Going at my pace, it's a 15-minute walk through the Rotherhithe Tunnel, so let's put baby in a corner and get a bit of history done.
The London County Council embarked on the construction of a new river crossing, known as the Rotherhithe Tunnel, following the success of the Blackwall Tunnel in 1897. Located between Tower Bridge and the Blackwall Tunnel, this toll-free road connection was positioned to connect the London Docks and West India Docks north of the river with the Surrey Commercial Docks on the south side. Sir Maurice Fitzmaurice, the engineer for the London County Council, designed the tunnel, closely mirroring the structure of the Blackwall Tunnel, but with a larger diameter. As it was being built, the Rotherhithe Tunnel was hailed
the largest subaqueous tunnel in existence.
The tunnel's construction, especially the long approach ramps, meant that nearly 3,000 local residents had to be relocated, causing considerable opposition within the community. To address the housing needs resulting from the construction, the London County Council erected new tenement blocks in Limehouse and in Rotherhithe, Swan Road, Clarence Street and Albion Street. Between 1904 and 1908, the Rotherhithe Tunnel was constructed under the supervision of engineer Edward H. Tabor and the contracting firm Price and Reeves. The project carried a price tag of approximately £1 million. The single bore spans a length of 1,482 metres. Within the tunnel there are 2 lanes for vehicular traffic and 2 very precarious walkways. The deepest point reaches a maximum depth of 23 metres below the Thames. The excavation process involved a combination of tunnelling shield and cut and cover techniques. The entrance arches of the tunnel were formed using cutting edges from one of the tunnelling shields. During the construction process, 4 shafts were excavated adjacent to the tunnel. These shafts providing ventilation and once, but no longer, served as pedestrian entrance points.
And now I've got your attention. As you can see when I appear on camera, I'm yet another middle-aged, middle-class white male making YouTube videos. I was happily making these walks between London Underground stations. I don't know for whom, probably just for me. In September 2022, just after the death of the Queen, I made a video following the route of the late monarch's cortege from Westminster. And then all the videos just stopped. I had a bout of very high blood pressure and I went to see my doctor about it. He suggested some medication, and I mentioned the recent death of Bill Turnbull. He was a notable UK television presenter. He died of prostate cancer. My doctor noted that I was of an age. Though I was showing no symptoms, he set up a blood test called a PSA test. This blood measurement can be a guide to prostate cancer, and off I went for the test. PSA levels of 4 and lower can be considered normal. I, symptom-free, normal weight and fit for my age, measured 11. To cut a long story short, many alarm bells went off. I had an MRI test, a CT scan, and then I awaited the results. In late November 2022, I turned up at the urology department of my local hospital. They told me to sit down and informed me that I had locally advanced prostate cancer. This is cancer that had spread to the area just outside the prostate. Any more symptom-free delay and I'd have moved on to advanced prostate cancer. This can be very bad news indeed. In the period between February and April 2023, I had 35 daily treatments of radiotherapy. I don't know for definite if this is the end of my cancer story, but I wanted to prove to myself that life goes on. So I chose to do the worst walk in London, through the polluted Rotherhithe Tunnel. And I'll complete my walks between every underground station. From now on, there'll be a QR code at the end of every video. If you're a male of a certain age, or a partner of a male of a certain age, or the offspring of a male of a certain age, scan the QR code to find out more. Don't wait for symptoms, just get it done. The stats are in your favour. Most men don't get prostate cancer, and if men catch it in time, the prognosis is good. So there you go, there's a link at the end. Right, having proven to myself I can do this, I want to recommend that nobody else does this. The exhaust fumes just get into your into the back of your throat. It is truly horrible, and I'm doing this so you don't have to. And anyway, I think the as the tunnel gets refurbished in a couple of years' time, I think they might stop pedestrian access. Now I can see something that you can't, which is daylight. Maybe it's illuminating my face. I think it probably is. Phew, right. I'm not sure I want to speak anymore. I might just show you some sights. But that was the Rotherhithe Tunnel. And I'm going to actually I've had no cars pass me for a while, but it's no big deal. I'll just face the other way. So it looks like the principal has opened this end as well. So we're in Rotherhithe. We've reached the southern side of the river, and just like there was a staircase coming down at the north, there's a staircase going up at the south. And this will bring us on to Albion Street. Oh, I'm out of breath. Just there, because I looked it up on Google Street View, it's a Turner House. And that's on the corner of Temeraire Street, which is a very famous Turner painting. And it was called something like Nelson Street before. It was renamed Temeraire Street. No, I really am going to stop talking. Down here this is the centre of the Finnish and Norwegian communities. The Finnish church is all very modernist. So we're down Albion Street a bit now, and this is the Norwegian church on St Olaf's Square. Can't get all in at once. There's the Norwegian flag flying. So this really is the centre of Norwegian and Finnish London, and has been for a long time. Alas, there's a lot of building work going on at the moment, so there's a lot of ambience. There's a lot of noise going to ruin the peacefulness of what this was. Now, having walked up here, I think I'm going to walk. Having walked along Albion Street, I think I'm going to walk down Neptune Street here and hope it comes out in the Canada Water area. Well, this won't, but I think one street over will. Look at that. So it's 1950s, I'm not sure. There's a big tower block. You can see the lift shaft of a big tower block going up behind it. And I'm hopefully going to turn left at that signpost into a park. I haven't done my research. I wasn't expecting to come down this way. I was expecting to go down a street called Renfrew Street. But it looked quite inviting and not noisy, because that building work was a bit noisy. I can't think of the word I need. I think I've been poisoned. So I think if I'm counting, this is the 5th environment. Oh, these are great. These. So this is the 5th environment in a row, and having admired the housing, I can't get into this park. So where that lorry was, maybe Rental Street. But again, I love the curves on these houses. Very interesting, looks like a building made out of a railway bridge. The Canada estate. Private estate, no trespassing. I had to trespass because there's just no way. I think maybe that's, I don't know. There's just no way out of Albion Street to get to the station. But this is a way, because there's a bus. Just sneaking a look through events at what I assume will be Canada Water itself. There's a whole load of shops and restaurants to be built around it. Very much a building site at the moment.